Welcome to Xander Studios, everybody, where I will be showing you all things Autodesk Inventor 3D, or at least as much as I know of Inventor. And I figured we'd start off with something simple, why not? Something that's not going to take too much brain power, because who wants to use their brain that much? I typically don't. But I figured today that we can talk about part descriptions and the difference, rather, of just entering free text and automating the descriptions, because Inventor allows you to automate everything. Parts, assemblies, drawings, presentations, whatever. You can animate things, you can render things. There are a great many things that one can do with Inventor. So, to begin, we're going to start a new part. So you just hit the part file, obviously. And we're going to start a new sketch on the XY plane. And let's draw a rectangle, why not? SW1 equals 6 inches. And what I'm doing here is I'm labeling the parameters, and I will show you why that is important to do in a few moments. Why does it do that to me? Alright. And then L1 equals, let's say it's 18 inches. And the way I got from one cell to the next is I just hit tab, and it jumps back and forth. And then you simply hit enter, and then OK, finish sketch, and then up on your little view cube here, you hit the home button. There you go, it shows you the whole preview. And I'm using quick keys. I just hit E for extrude. Now we're going to label this parameter as THK for thickness. And it's going to equal, let's call it 1/4 inch. And we'll have it symmetrical. Why not? Alrighty. So now we'll go ahead and save this part. Just save it to my desktop, and we'll call it test plate. That sounds reasonable, doesn't it? Alright, so we've created our part. Now we need to fill out the description. But where do we go? What do we do? Well, you find the descriptions if you right-click on the file name here and go down to iProperties. And then you jump on over to the Project tab. You see this is all the different cells in the iProperties that you can use later on down the road in drawings, assemblies, and whatnot. And if you would like for me to go into further detail on everything that is in the iProperties, what all these tabs mean, the general, summary, project, status, custom, save, that's pretty self-explanatory, and physical, leave a comment below, and I will make another video for, oh, what is this? What is this? Oh, God, I don't care. How dare you, sir, interrupt me? Go away. Right. So, with the description, this is obviously the cell labeled description is going to be where you fill out your descriptions. That was very well said, wasn't it? Now, you can just come in here and just type in, test plate, and then do all that. And, well, that's not right. What do I even make the thing? 6 inches by 1 foot, 6 inches. You can do that, fine, dandy, and you hit close, OK. You go up here, and you start a new drawing, and you place in your view. It's fine. Go over to annotate, hit parts list. Now this is only one part, so there's not going to be a whole lot of stuff on here, but you can see that there it is. Everything's in there, fine, dandy. But let's say if you have to make a change to this plate. Let's say it goes from 6 inches to 8 inches. Okay, well, that's fine and dandy. The plate changed. It got 2 inches wider. But if you go back over to your drawing and you look at your bill, you can see that the description still says 6 inches. So what that tells you is you'd have to go back into the iProperties project, into the description here, change that to 8, and there you go. Now you can do that if it's a simple assembly or just a few components, then sure, fine. You can go ahead and do a manual text entry. But let's say if you have an assembly that's comprised of over 100 different parts. Well, out of those 100 different parts, you have to change, let's say 40 of them. Do you really want to sit there and 40 times fill out the descriptions manually? I don't think so. So how do we do this? How do we get it from a manual entry to an automated entry? Well, if we just go ahead and delete that, hit OK. You go up to your parameters symbol, that's the FX. You can either go up here or you can go over to the Manage tab and hit there, and it takes you to the same place. Now, here are my model parameters. Obviously, I only have 4 of them in here. This last one is another part of the extrusion. If you were back in here under the More tab, that is what the 4th parameter is, this taper. 9 times out of 10, you're probably not going to use it, but simply if you were to type in 20, you know, it's not really going to do anything, but let's try more. There you go. It gives it a little bit of like a taper right there. So, why is that not working? My mouse isn't working. Okay, fine. Be that way. All right, so go back into our parameters here. Now the reason why I labeled these parameters is because you could have a part or an assembly, either one, and you could have over 500 different parameters, all different things: sketches, extrusions, fillets, chamfers, sweeps, all different kinds of things. And if you were to sit in here and try to figure out which ones you wanted to use, well, that could be rather difficult because it starts off with D0, and if you have D0 through D500, good luck. May the force be with you. So that's why I labeled these parameters width, length, and thickness, just so it makes it easy to find, because I know that these are the 3 main parameters that are going to change. So how do we automate this process? Well, stupidly, Inventor makes you have to export parameters within Inventor, within itself, yes, in order to use it somewhere else inside the same program. So it's you have to just tick these little boxes here. These are the only 3 that I want to have change. And then, very important, if you come over to the nominal value column, and if you right click and hit custom property format, here is where you can change it to make it read however you want. Now in my industry, we use feet, and it's in fractional form, and we always go to a 16th. And if you tick this little box here, apply to existing comparable parameters, that basically means any other parameter that you have exported, this box over here ticked under the export parameters, it's going to apply these same property formats, the type, the units, the format, and the precision. So we're going to go ahead and tick that and hit OK. So it's like a one and done kind of thing. I don't have to sit here and go through all 3 of these and do it over and over and over again. So we're going to hit done. And now if we go to back to the iProperties, you can see that no, there's still no description, but now we have to write a formula. So what you're going to do is you're going to hit equals. Turn caps lock on. We're just going to again call it test plate. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do the little brackets, greater than, equal than brackets, or greater than, less than rather. What am I saying? I don't know. I really don't sometimes. And within those brackets, you're going to put the name of the parameter. So you can see why, again, labeling the parameters is important, because if you don't remember which parameters you just exported and you don't have them labeled, you might be trying to export parameter 112. Well, with all these different steps, are you really going to remember the name of every single parameter? No. So that's why it's important to label them. So that's the thickness. And then we're going to do the width. And then the length. And if you hit enter, watch what happens. Oh, amazing. You can see now it has filled out the description with the parameters, and you can see it's linked. That's what this little symbol means, that it's taking the parameters and including them into this field of the description. And if you hit close, and now if you go over to your drawing, you can see test plate, 1/4 inch, 8 inches by 1'6". Okay. But now let's say the thickness changes. It goes from 1/4 inch to 3/8. All right. And you go back into your parameters and change that to 3/8 and hit done. Well, now watch this. If you go back over to your drawing, oh, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It changed itself from 1/4 to 3/8. I don't know why I just sounded like that. But there you go. That is how you automate your descriptions for your parts, so you don't have to sit there 40 times and manually type all of your descriptions. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. If you guys want me, again, to go into further detail about anything within the iProperties, how all this stuff works, or if you want me to go over any other questions that you may have in Inventor, perhaps maybe you're new to Inventor, or you've used it for a little bit of time, or maybe like me, you've been using it for several years and you're just curious to see how other people model things, and perhaps maybe you can get ideas. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button and the subscribe button down below and leave a comment, and we'll see you in the next one.